सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. महायोगी स्वामी उमानंद सरस्वती की जय. Today is a big day. Today is a big day. I'm getting an opportunity to address present my paper before World Parliament 2018 at Rajbagh. Very kind of Dr. Karad, and to allow me to present my paper. And since the subject was of great interest to me, I am extremely pleased to do so. The subject is centered around the philosophy of Sant Dnyandev, and therefore I am glad I am a participating member of this organization and this event. The subject is can the world become a one family? First question. Second, can it have one common world government? Third question, can it have a world anthem which can be Poseidon? These are the three major questions which are posed, and let's see what we have to say about it. First, let me define family. What is a family? Family is a group of people who stay under one shelter, bound by love and I won't say a cause, but they are naturally bound by love, and they stay under one shelter as long as they live. Something like that, we can call it a family. Now, is that the only type of a family we have? No, not really. We also have extended families, like we have our cousins and maternal uncles and paternal uncles, and we have a very different extended family. Then we have a family of friends. We have a friend circle. Then we have a educational circle. We call ourselves Bishopites or Fergusonites or Elphinstonians, whatever. We identify ourselves with that family. Then we further have professionals. We call ourselves as belonging to the IT world, the medical world, the professional world. And then again, a little later, if you see, we become, of course, we identify with the citizenships also. And then we travel, then we become the suppliers, the manufacturers, the providers, and so on and so on. Just like a stone if thrown in a pond transfers its energy into wider and wider and wider circles in the form of water ripples, which moves to the end of the pond. Something similar is our family life. So I try to classify these families into three types. One was by birth. We are members of a family by birth, and even we are members of this nation we are born in by birth. So we have this family which is born by birth. Then there is a second family which is born by choice. Then you have the third family which is need-based. Yes, we saw, I need to travel, I need a market in the universe, in say USA, UK, Arab countries, Dubai, I need a market because I'm a manufacturer. So we belong to the world of manufacturers. And then we interact with the foreign people, and then we need the foreign currency, then we need the foreign abodes, hotels, and things like that. So that becomes a need-based family. Once this relationship takes they get bonded by work and interests in work and benefits from each other, they tend to last longer and longer. Now there are also, within need-based, there are two types of need-based families. One is where there is haves and have-nots. Like let's say there are very many poor people on the streets. We don't need anything from them, but yet we want to offer them something what they need, like alms or say money or something like that. So that is, but those are short-lived families. So let's concentrate on the need-based families, which are interdependent. So this is interdependent families. Yes, if you try to see everything, we need to water the plant for the water to give us the plant to give us fruits. We need to toil the soil for the soil to give us grass or whatever. So there is a give and take in the entire world, and by giving we create our place, and we are there to receive the fruits. So it's a give and take world where it is a need based family, and we belong to that family which is need based. Now, if you try to see, is there any such a political organization we can think of before we start thinking of the world government for one family? We'll just try and see, let's not say world government, but we have a UNO, United Nations Organization, which has about 195 countries out of 196 countries as its members, and who are willing to abide themselves with certain laws so that the United Organization can support them if they need to interact between each other. So suppose I am a member of the United Nations, India is a member of United Nations, as well as USA is a member of United Nations, and I need to serve the country there, and they are to benefit from me. Then we need an intermediating factor. So if it is between the two countries, United Nations steps in to make it easy for the two countries or more than two countries on either side to make their functioning easy. So that is the role of the United Nations Organization. Now, even after having such United Nations organizations which have funds to supply funds to the countries that they need, they have army, they have medical facilities or whatever access, they have access to all the material requirements which any country may be wanting to have. So even children get adopted through UNO, and those who have no parents. So it's a very beautiful body which is working and trying to cooperate or let the two parties function together who are need-based families. Now, with all these efforts put in, yet there are about 3,500 conflicts in last almost less than 100 years. Less than 100 years, since 1945. Before 1945, instead of United Nations Organization, we had United Nations League, but yet there were two major wars, world wars. So, with all the intervening bodies which are there to support a smooth interaction between two countries, the conflicting situations cannot be avoided, and the results and consequences of such conflicts. So then what is lacking? What do we need to change? Do we need to change the format, the physical format of the bodies? Instead of 196, do you want less countries, or you want more than less, about 196, one is left out? Or you want the UNO to be renamed in some other way, or UNO to undertake some other responsibility? So if we think of it, yes, we could suggest one thing, that the collective thinking needs to undergo a change. If situations cannot be changed, then thought process has to be changed. So we need a collective thinking which is going to be considered to be the thinking of the World UNO. Right now we are naming it as UNO because it's one example we have before us. But we are talking about world government. So let's say it's a world government is ONU. Let's say ONU. Instead of UNO, we'll say ONU. Organizer of the nature of the universe. So let's just give another name. So we have, we want to know whether we can change the thought content of this ONU, or of course UNO, whatever you want to call it, this world government. So now in order to see what thought content needs to be fed into that government, we also need to know what is the actual character of thought, attributes of thought. What do thoughts do? How do they work? How do they function? Yes, thoughts have a strange way of functioning. Basically, they can travel. They travel. Light can travel through vacuum. Sound needs medium. water, we saw the water waves they went through, and it was transfer of energy of the stone into that. And there were some sort of vibrations which were passed on from the center to the outergoing, encompassing areas, and with a growing proportion, in a growing proportion. So something like that, thoughts to travel, and they too must be going out, and with a growing area, surrounding greater and greater area. Now, the one thing is good about the thoughts, those people who are directly involved in the thought, the one who thinks about you and the thoughts for someone, these people can get transformed by thoughts. Thoughts are transforming, has transforming qualities. Transforming qualities. Now, thoughts by themselves are two types, positive and negative. Positive thought is there and negative thought is there. Now, what is the quality of positive thought? Obviously, it is constructive. Constructive. And the negative thought is destructive. Just as we have negative thoughts destroying the cells in the body, similarly, negative thoughts in the world will destroy the people it comes in contact with. Yes, it creates a destructive attitude, and we are trying to form one world, one family. Now, this need-based family needs to have the quality of the first type of a family, which is based on birth. So we can't say birth, but yes, why not? We were born in a family of two, but we are born, say, I'm a citizen of India, but tomorrow India lies in Asia, so I'll say I'm also a citizen of Asia. Then I'll say Asia lies in the world, so I'm the citizen of the world. So it's not so difficult to call yourself a citizen of the world. And if you are a citizen of the world, obviously all those who are citizens are going to be your family members. Now, it's just that some of it may be with choice, some without choice. But still, if love does not bind us, then let's try to make use of the concept of need, and which we need to be of some use to the others in the world family. Now, we need positive thoughts. The positive thoughts, do we have any example of a positive thought in front of us? Yes. Saint Dnyandev, Sant Jnaneshwar, his Pasaidan. Pasaidan is a short, about 10 couplets put together. It's a short prayer to God. And it has a positive thought in it. Now, we'll come to the thought content later. But why do I call it positive? Because Sant Jnandev never rebelled in his life. Never rebelled in his life. There were times when the society which had put the family into exile, because they were sannyasis' children. So they were exempted from coming into the common stream of life. And they were put in exile. They were in exile. But even then at that time, and they were denied small facilities of the society, from the society, like buying an earthen pot and to heat and cook something called, say, mandi. They were like sweet cakes. But Jnandev never rebelled. What did he do? He used his spiritual knowledge of how to use the heat element in the body with the help of yoga. He heated his back, and he saw that the sweets were baked on it. Now, man has 4 capacities to make his place in the world. He has physical, mental, intellectual, and spiritual. Then they never used the physical capacity, in the sense he did not fight. He did not box somebody because he was denied of certain facilities. No, neither did he blackmail them, that my God, we are so helpless, we are without parents or something like that. No. Then what did he do? He used his intellect. Well, how did he use his intellect? Based on the knowledge of spiritual knowledge. And he saw that he overcame the situations intellectually. And that is why very soon he earned great respect of the intellectual society in the world. So much so far that people started calling him Mauli. Mauli, that is a mother. So this boy, he was just 19 uh, when he contributed to the world's greatest literature um, on Bhagavad Gita. And here, because his life did not pose any moment of rebel, there was never revolution. There was only evolution. So he never rebelled, and therefore a stage came when he could use the go into a samadhi state at the time of his in these last moments. I won't call it death because he surpassed that state. So in his last moments, he knew the art of separating matter from spirit. He knew the art of separating matter from spirit. Now, because his method was no rebel, methodology was perfect, Shuddha, and the result was Siddha, it is pure and perfect. Shuddha and Siddha, both his means were good, his end was good, his motive was good. What did he do in Samadhi? He voluntarily, actually a man at the end of his life, that is a moment of utmost unrest for him. When his soul departs from the body, every man desperately tries to hold back that soul. And here was a boy who walked into a small little closed cave-like place and walked into it, and very peacefully, with all the ventilation closed, he surrendered his soul and gave up his physical form. Now, what does this Samadhi experience tell the world? It gives a very beautiful message. He knew the art of separating matter from spirit, but he gave a very loud and clear message out of Samadhi. And what was that? That life never perishes, it just transforms. It just transforms from one to the other stage. Like the childhood goes into the youth, and youth goes into the old age, and old age goes into the new life born. So there is only a change in the format. It is never perishable. This is the highest message given by a youngest saint, Sant Dnyandev. So, if there has to be a world government, it has to have the responsibility of changing the thought content and telling the world, continuously proving to the world that world cannot end. World needs to continue, but for it with a transformation. So today's paper is, can we have one world? I think yes, we can. If it is a need-based one, we can have one world, one family. Then can there be one government? Yes, there is no harm in having an organized setup which is there to support the interactions between the other countries. Then can there be one Poseidon, one national anthem, one world anthem? Yes, and we can think of choosing Poseidon because it's a message of peace. And the entire world today is craving for peace. Whose words will matter? The one who has practiced and then preached. And Dnyandev has not only practiced and preached, but proved it by taking Samadhi, that there can be a very peaceful parting of the body and soul from each other. Because the body is left for the soul to transform to another life. So there is always transformation rather than perishability. This message is very important, and in the evening we are going to talk about the second paper. Now we have one world, family as one family, the world as one family. Then we have the world government. Then we have the world anthem. Now we need the one universal God. We'll deal with it in paper 2. This is Swami Radhikananda from Pune. Thank you.